59 families, millions in debt.
We don't have a home. We're having to live with my parents.
One contractor, Daniel Brody, didn't wake up one day and decide to destroy people's lives. But that's exactly what he did.
I don't want these people to be able to do this to anyone else ever again.
We also paid a cash amount for upgrades. What happened to those funds?
Today, we're breaking down J&R Homes of Sanford, North Carolina, and CEO Daniel Brody. Let's start at the beginning. J&R Homes, Sanford, North Carolina. Company's been around for years doing custom home builds, a couple of million a year in revenue. Not massive, not tiny, a solid mid-size operation. They're building homes for families in Lee County, Rockingham, as well as Scotland County. All custom builds, dream homes for people who've saved their whole lives for this. And while we don't know exactly how Brody started, most guys in this business, they genuinely just want to help families. They take pride in the work and they want to build something that matters. It's probably where Brody started as well. But somewhere between that good intention and what happens next, things go very, very wrong. 2021, the housing market explodes. Interest rates are low. Everybody wants to build. Demand is through the roof. And Brody, he's signing contracts fast, fixed price deals. We'll build you custom home for this amount. Families are thrilled. Let me tell you about one of them, the Haydens, young couple, new baby on the way. June 2021, they signed a contract for a custom build.
They sold us a pretty incredible dream of building our dream home within our budget.
They pay $12,000 in deposits and upgrades. Plus, their lender approves an $80,000 construction loan. They're supposed to close April 15th, move-in ready. They're not the only ones. 59 contracts total, 59 families betting everything on J&R Homes. And here's where things get interesting. Lumber prices are skyrocketing. COVID supply chain issues. Lumber goes up an estimated 300% from 2020 to 2021. But these contracts, all fixed price, signed before the spike. So Brody's committed to building homes at 2020 prices with 2021 costs. And while we don't know his exact financial setup, the most likely scenario is he didn't have enough cash reserves to weather that gap. So here's what happens. Construction starts on the Haydens' home in January 2022.
They laid the foundation in January. They finally started framing in February. They framed for one day and then they stopped.
The trusses fall over, not properly braced, and then nothing. No work, no communication. This is happening across all 59 jobs, and Brody's about to learn a painful lesson about the difference between signing contracts and actually getting paid. Enter phase 3, the chaos. Spring 2022, families are calling, texting, emailing. When are you coming back? When will these be houses done? Silence. Meanwhile, something else is happening. Subcontractors are filing mechanic liens. An $18,000 lien also comes in from the lumber company. Another family, the Honeycutts, their homes further along but not finished. Over $50,000 in liens. Subcontractors claiming J&R never paid them for work they've already done. Now here's where it gets complicated. In a bankruptcy hearing later, Brody explained that all the money J&R Homes collected went into one bank account, and bills were paid from that account as they came due. So when he pulled money from the Haydens construction loan, that money didn't necessarily go to the Haydens build. It went to whatever bill was due that day. Maybe it paid another family's electrician or another job's materials or payroll. This is called commingling funds, and it's not illegal, but it's dangerous because when you're playing a shell game, robbing Peter to pay Paul, using new deposits to cover old debts, and when material costs spike, when you can't complete jobs on budget, the whole thing starts to collapse. Late April 2022, families are desperate. One woman tells a reporter,
You're sold something, you're sold this big idea, this big dream, right? And then it's just taken away from you.
We have 2 kids and we can't buy another house. This could ruin our credit.
Then, late April, J&R sends an email. Due to circumstances that have developed over the last 2 weeks, J&R Homes is contemplating a bankruptcy. But by this point, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Brody later blamed Homeside Financial, the construction lender. He claimed that they rearranged payment schedules for nearly a year without his authorization, leaving him unable to pay subs. Homeside Financial denied this, said they never changed or approved any payment schedules. So who's telling the truth? I don't know, but I do know is this: when you're managing 59 contracts and you don't have systems to track every draw, every payment, every sub, you lose control fast. So quick pause. If you're sitting here thinking, well, how do I make sure this never happens to me? We created a free guide. It's called the 6 Levels of a Contracting Business. It actually shows you exactly what to build at each stage, from your first hire all the way to a self-sustaining business. Level 1 is the basic systems before you scale. Level 6, you can potentially start thinking about selling the whole thing. Links in the description. It's free. Grab it. Now, let's talk about the collapse. Phase 4. It's May 5th, 2022. ABC 11 troubleshooter airs an investigation. Multiple families on camera, unfinished homes, mounting liens. The story goes viral. May 10th, 5 days later, J&R Homes files Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Not Chapter 11 reorganization, Chapter 7 liquidation. Company's done. Liabilities between $1 and $10 million. Assets less than 100 grand. And the creditors between 100 and 199. 59 ongoing construction contracts that will never be completed. May 11th, the next day, Brody voluntarily surrenders his contractor's license. And here's where families got really angry. In the bankruptcy hearing, they asked Brody direct questions. Where did our upgrade money go?
We also paid a cash amount for upgrades. What happened to those funds?
That went into J&R Homes' bank account.
Why weren't contractors paid? He blamed the lender. And then they learned this. During the period lending up to bankruptcy, Brody took a $122,000 salary.
It's pretty evident that the accounts receivables didn't pay out subcontractors, and evidently they paid themselves in payroll.
Now, contractors deserve to get paid. That's not the issue. The issue is priority. If your subs aren't getting paid, if families are living in unfinished homes, if liens are piling up, you don't get to keep drawing a 6-figure salary. That's when good intentions stop looking good. So what went wrong? Let me break down the 5 main mistakes. Mistake number 1 was growth over systems. We got 59 contracts. We don't know if J&R had project management software, financial tracking, cash flow forecasting, any of it. But the evidence suggests probably not, because when all your money goes into one account and then you're just paying bills as they come, that's not a system, that's chaos. Mistake 2, fixed price contracts in a volatile market. When material costs are spiking 300% and you're locked into 2020 prices, you're betting the whole business on lumber stabilizing, on supply chains recovering. That's not business strategy, that's literally hope. Mistake 3, not enough cash reserves. If J&R had 6 to 9 months of operating cash, they could have weathered the storm, waited out the material spike, maybe renegotiated with clients. Mistake 4, zero accountability. During the bankruptcy hearing, it became clear there was no board, no outside financial oversight, no CPA reviewing the books monthly, just Brody making decisions. And where there's nobody to tell you no, nobody to check your blind spots, you make terrible decisions. Mistake 5, forgot the mission. Somewhere in all the chaos, it stopped being about the families. One couple with a new baby living with relatives, staring at an unfinished house they'll never get to move into. When 59 families are suffering and you're still collecting a 6-figure salary, you've lost the plot. Look, the contractors we work with who are thriving, they're not growing at 100% a year. They're growing at 20, 30% sustainably, profitably, with systems that work. That's the real flex. Not the contract count, not the revenue number. The real flex, if you want to flex, is being in business next year and the year after that, looking your customers in the eye and knowing you kept your word. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you liked what you saw. It helps me know that the effort we're putting in here is actually valuable for at least one person out there. See you in the next one.